Well, hello! Welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about some new friggin' books. So, I have a decent little book haul right now, and you would think that it was a bunch of Christmas gifts. It is mostly not. It is mostly books I bought for myself. I do know a couple of friends told me that they did purchase like Christmas books for me. But that they will not be here until like January or February. So I'm not going to wait for those. I'll just haul those later. I will start with a couple of books that were gifts from people.
Okay, let's go.
First up, I posted this on my Instagram, so if you follow me there, you will have seen already. Elle is just the sweetest and spoils me. And she got me the Illumicrate Greenbone Saga copies. And like, these are just stupid gorgeous. Jade City. It's got the Talon knives on the thing. It says "On My Honor" on the back. And also, these pages are like high quality. Like, it's so nice. And then we have Jade War. On My Life. And these are all signed too, which is fun.
Wow.
And then this big ass bitch, Jade Legacy. The gun. And then On My Jade. And yeah, they're just so pretty. And these also came with, you know, some little things. Where did I put them? Was the mic all fucking crazy that whole time? Oh God, I hope not. So I have these like pin banners that I don't know where I'm gonna put yet, but it came with these pins right here. It says the Pillar, the Weatherman, and the Horn, which is fun, really pretty. And then these bookmarks, which I don't use bookmarks like this, but I just love these. We've got Lan and Hilo and Shay and Wen and Andon. And I just love them so much. And then this is so cute. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me a little emotional because of the final scene of Jade Legacy. It's Twice Lucky souvenir plate set from the Twice Lucky in Janloon, their place they always go. How freaking cute. I just love them. I use magnetic bookmarks, and I have one little tray, like plate right there that I have put some in. So I'll probably just use these and put them on my bookshelves and like put more of those in there. I just think they're so cute. The Twice Lucky. So yeah, thank you, Elle, so much. She is like the sweetest. And I suck. I'm like a terrible gift giver, honestly. Like, I always, like, I have friends that read books and I'll still be like, because then I'm like, well, I don't know what all books they own or whatever. And like buying someone a book they've never read that like isn't part of a series they like already, like something I like, that I'm like, ooh, maybe they're like, that's so nerve-wracking because what if they fucking hate it? And then they'll probably feel bad and like they can't just get rid of it, or I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just terrible at gift giving, but it is what it is. And then my mother sent me a couple of books, and oh, she bought me, when I was home for Christmas, she also got me a book. Where's the other one? Hello? So when I was home, the one that she got for me is this edition of The Great Gatsby, which is just so pretty. So pretty. Love it so much. And it's got some illustrations in it, and like all the, like, so pretty. Where's the illustration? I'm never gonna read this, like physically read this.
Just a collectible.
Full color illustrations. So freaking pretty. So yay for that. Love that. And then she sent me two. One is just a series from my childhood that I am slowly collecting all of them. And I have it on my Amazon wish list, and Mom grabbed one from there. And that is A Picture of Freedom, one of the Dear America diaries. This is one I believe I read before. I think I read this one when I was a kid. So yay. And then she got me this, which I'm so excited about. Best wishes, warmest regards. The story of Schitt's Creek by Daniel Levy and Eugene Levy. And yeah, it's like this big, beautiful hardcover and has all kinds of fun stuff. And it has like the characters and then like the actor saying something about like playing the character and their experience playing the character. And then like season 2, it's just going through all the things, some like behind the episode little bits, some interviews or like in conversation with like the 2 actors talking about their characters together, some script images, just all kinds of fun stuff. And I'm so excited. I cannot wait to read through this because I love Schitt's Creek. I didn't start watching, oh yeah, and then beep. I didn't start watching Schitt's Creek until I think the first 4 seasons were already out. I think, maybe even the 5th, I don't know. But it was like either right before the 5th one came out or like right after the 5th one came out. And I started watching it and I just absolutely marathoned that shit. And I just love it. And then I watched season 6 and I have since rewatched it. I don't even know how many times. That's what I do. I've said this before with certain sitcoms that I really like. I just rewatch them over and over. They're just like on, like I go to bed and one of them's on during the day. If I'm just like dicking around on the computer or whatever, puttering around the house, like one of them's on. It's either Will and Grace, Schitt's Creek, How I Met Your Mother, Seinfeld right now is like the one I'm doing, Happy Endings. But yeah, Schitt's Creek I think I've rewatched 10 times, I want to say. Okay, and then books I bought for myself. A couple of individual ones that I just randomly grabbed. This one, I've had my eye on this for quite some time. And then recently I was actually watching Jenna Bibliofilth. I was watching her videos, one of her videos, and she has this book. And I just saw it in the background on her shelves, and I was like, I need to fucking buy that already. I don't know why I haven't bought it. And then I went online and on Pango Books, where people can like resell their books, I found a really nice copy that is signed, which maybe they all are, I don't know. But it's Soulless by Gail Carriger, the hardcover illustrated edition, illustrated by Jensine Ekwall. And it's just so gorgeous. I love it. And like the cover has like this tiny little kind of crease. It's not actually like bent all the way through, but like there's just a little bit of a crease kind of down it. I don't really care. Yeah, it's signed, like I said. Look at these end pages. Oh my God. So we've got these little illustrations in it. And I don't think there are plans to publish the other books in the series in this kind of edition. I don't know, because it's been around for a hot minute. Oh, 2018. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there will be any more, but even if there's not, I love Alexia Terabody so fucking much. One of my all-time favorite characters. So I had to have this. Don't know why I've waited so long. And it was only like $9 or something, which is crazy. I saw some other like listings for it on different websites that were like $45. And I was like, no. And then I saw that one on Pango Books and I was like, fuck yeah. And then this one I recently purchased because I'm going to be buddy reading it with Monet at Monet Reads. And that is The Women of Chateau Lafayette by Stephanie Dray. It is a big ass book. This is a historical fiction, so yay. Yeah, I like historical fiction. I read more in 2021, I think, than I did the year before, and I want to keep reading more. I have so many unread historical fictions on my shelves, so it's silly maybe to buy a new one, but Monet had seen one of my videos where I was talking about wanting to read even more, and she was like, me too, we should buddy read some. So we're gonna buddy read this one for sure, soon. Yay. And then I picked this one up because I had the first book and I've read it, and then I had the third book, but I did not have the second one in the trilogy, Kushiel's Chosen by Jacqueline Carey. Woot woot. Probably gonna pick this up fairly soon, probably in January. And then I mentioned this in the unhaul I just filmed. I don't know if that's gonna go up before this video or after, but at any rate, I mentioned it already in that one. I had purchased the first book of this series by itself, and I was just like, oh, I'll pick them up slowly over time. But then I saw on Michael J. Sullivan's website that the fourth book in the series is about to be like legit out of print. So I picked up a box set of the Rhaeria Chronicles, and they're backwards, but the Crown Tower, bam, the Rose and the Thorn, the Death of Dulgath, and then the disappearance of Winter's daughter. So, yay. And I don't know when the 5th book, there's supposed to be, I don't know how many books there's supposed to be total in this series necessarily, but I don't know. And I started the Rhaeria Revelations. I started, what's the first one? Theft of Swords, yeah. I'm about like 40% of the way through that, and I cannot wait to get to these and get all caught up and then read Nolan. I'm reading this whole fucking world completely out of order. It's fine. And then Barnes & Noble had a sale of 50% off all hardcovers. And I waited until the second to last day to even go. I was like, no, I'm not gonna go now. And I just kept seeing everybody posting about it on Instagram and shit. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll fucking go. And they didn't have a shit ton left, the one that I went to. Definitely an adult fantasy. It was slim pickings. But I did find some, so that's cool. This one I was very excited about because I have had my eye on this for a while, and I just reread this book this year, and it held up, and so I was like, yeah, I really want that, but it's kind of expensive for a book, and that is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, the, I don't know what, Penguin Galaxy? Yeah, Penguin Galaxy hardcovers. Love it. Love it. Again, I doubt I'll ever actually read this copy, but it's beautiful. So I read not a lot of nonfiction, but I do read some, and I want to read more. And most of the nonfiction I own and have on like my TBR and everything, most of it ends up being like race politics, systemic racism, just the topic of race, specifically usually in the United States. And, you know, obviously it's a topic that I'm interested in and I keep reading about, but I also want to branch out and read some other nonfiction. Also because sometimes, like, reading back to back about systemic racism is a bit defeating at times. So, you know, I want to break up the nonfiction. And I recently bought the Future We Choose, the one about climate change that sounds like it'll be pretty hopeful and stuff. And this is another one that sounds like perhaps it could be a hopeful book. The Pivot, Addressing Global Problems Through Local Action, from Columbia Business School Publishing. Yeah, I don't know, it sounds cool. It says, when the world reemerges from the COVID-19 pandemic, it seems likely that it will have transformed irrevocably. Can societies already reeling from climate change, income equality, and structural racism change for the better? Does the shock of the pandemic offer an opportunity to pivot to a more sustainable way of life? Early in the crisis, a global volunteer collaboration called Pivot Projects was formed to rethink how the world works. Some members are experts in the sciences and the humanities. Others are environmental activists or regular people who see themselves as world citizens. In The Pivot, the journalist Steve Ham, who embedded in the enterprise from the start, explores their efforts and shows how their approach provides a model for achieving systemic change. Chronicling the group's progress along an uncharted path, he shows how people with a variety of skills and personalities collaborate to get things done. So, yeah, hopefully it's uplifting and hopeful. But yeah, it sounded interesting. This one I was so excited about because I had this on my wish list as well. I started reading this on the webtoon, but I can't just like read the screen that much. It hurts my eyes, so I was like, I'm gonna wait for the published physical copy to come out. And that is Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith, or Smythe, I think Smith. Yeah, I love this artwork. It's so freaking cute. And it's like about, you know, the lore of Olympus, specifically following Hades and Persephone. And yeah, the artwork is just so fucking cute. I can't stand it. So colorful, so fun. Yeah, this is volume 1 and it's episodes 1 through 25. I got through, I think, like 5 to 10 episodes before I was like, I gotta wait. So I'm excited to get into this and finish it. I picked up a young adult, but this is one that I have seen basically nothing but praise for. It's one, though, that I know I will probably need to be in a very particular headspace, mindset for. I've heard that it is a bit taxing emotionally. The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. And yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think it's about like a girl, a teenager whose like cousin dies or gets kidnapped or something. Oh, she witnesses a shocking murder, thrusting her into an FBI investigation of a lethal new drug, and reluctantly goes undercover. And the main character is Ojibwe. Oh yeah, there was a family tragedy. Yeah. And then this happened after the family tragedy. Firekeeper's Daughter is an electrifying thriller layered with a rich exploration of the modern Native experience, a reckoning of current and historical injustices, and a powerful celebration of community. So yeah, I've heard that it is just amazing. It sounds amazing, but it definitely sounds like something I need to, be mentally prepared for. And then a couple of random ones that I just was like, sure, why the fuck not? This one I have seen before, and the cover always struck me. I don't really know much about it, but God, it's beautiful. The Vanished Queen by Lisbeth Campbell. And yeah, it's just so pretty. The little blurb on the back says, a despotic king, a treasonous plot, a fiery resistance, a vanished queen. When she finished reading, Anza blew out the candle, almost a stub now, and held the closed book on her lap. She knew she would be haunted by the journal's last line for the rest of her life. When I am gone, Karolji will pay. A curse, a wish, a promise. Yeah, a stunning blend of vivid fantasy and political drama, The Vanished Queen is the timely story of a young resistance fighter working to overthrow a totalitarian ruler's regime of terror and lies. So, yeah, I don't know. Sounds cool. Hopefully I like it, because good God, such a pretty cover. I just love these colors. And then completely fucking random, I just saw this and was like, okay, sure. The Prince of the Skies by Antonio Iturbe. And it is based on the true story of, it's French, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry? Exupéry? I don't know. Author of The Little Prince. The guy that wrote The Little Prince. This is a huge fucking bitch. Apparently, this is from the author of The Librarian of Auschwitz. I don't know. It's a historical novel based on a true story. The extraordinary life and mysterious death of Antoine. In the 1920s, long before he wrote The Little Prince, Antoine de... I need to look up how to say that last name. I think it's Exupéry.
Exupéry? Exupéry. Exupéry? Exupéry? I don't know.
French. It's not my jam. Was an accomplished pilot, along with Jean Mermoz and Henri Guillaume. He was chosen to pioneer new mail routes across the globe. No distance was too far and no mountain too high. Each letter had to reach its destination. The three friends soared through the air while a world torn apart by wars and political factions awaited them back on solid ground. This is a gripping narrative of death-defying plane crashes, heart-rending love affairs, and unexpected fame, as well as an homage to Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, an unforgettable writer who touched the lives of millions of readers. Sounded kind of fun. It was 50% off. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's all for now. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already and you feel so inclined. And as always, if you just want to say hello and don't have anything further to add, you can just leave a little emoji. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.